Hey everybody, I'm Jeff McCrum. I watch MMA sometimes. Gonna do a quick recap of UFC Atlanta, UFC on ESPN, Usman versus Buckley from this past Saturday night. Honestly, not a very good card in practice, unfortunately. On paper, it looked pretty good. A lot of big name fighters, three former champs, but man, that main card was quite the slog. In the main event, we had Kamaru Usman defeating Joaquin Buckley by unanimous decision. That was a good fight. I liked seeing what we saw out of Kamaru Usman. It looked like he was back to his classic self, back to his regular form after not winning a fight for 3 years, being on a three-fight losing streak. He showed that wrestling game, showed that his knees were still intact. Took down Buckley, controlled him, looked like vintage Usman for a lot of the fight. Buckley had his moments, got some good shots in, but overall, really good performance from Usman. Unfortunately, he the way that he's talking after the fight, it sounds like he wants to do the thing where he sits and waits for a title shot, and if there's any justice, that won't happen because welterweight's such a deep division right now. Islam Makhachev is moving up to fight the champion Jack Della Maddalena for the title. You have Shavkat Rakhmonov, who is undefeated and is extremely deserving of a title shot. And then you have a couple of other guys who I think have earned contender status more than Usman at this point, just because Usman's been off for so long. But Usman saying, I have seniority, I'm a bigger name, I'm not fighting anybody until I get a title shot. So we'll see how that goes. Crazier things have happened. Maybe he'll be the designated backup fighter for Islam versus JDM whenever that happens, but I wouldn't hold my breath. The fight, I mean, I want to see him fight Bilal Muhammad. He acted like he was too good for that fight. He pretended he didn't know who Bilal Muhammad was, but that'd be a solid fight. Champ versus former champ. Um, the co-main event, we have Rose Namajunas versus Miranda Maverick. This was a really solid fight too, honestly. If the main event and co-main event, if the rest of the card hadn't been so many decisions, people would have been pretty satisfied with the main and co-main, but because the rest of the card or most of the rest of the card was such a slog, it really hurt both of those fights. Rose looked good, solid win. Unfortunately, Miranda Maverick tore her ACL in the fight, so that definitely could have negatively impacted her. And she had some really good moments against Rose too. Made it a really close fight. Um, it's tough because with Rose, she looked good, but and she did show her power. She dropped Maverick in the third. How much of that had to do with Maverick being injured? How much of it had to do with Rose just being Rose and being a great striker? Who knows? But definitely want to see Rose fight somebody in the top five. I think Rose versus Alexa Grasso would be an outstanding fight. Make that for UFC Noche in San Antonio in September. Boom. Let's go. Edmund Shabazian beat Andre Petrosky by decision. Not much to say about this one. Good to see Edmund win a fight by decision because he always either gets knocked out or knocks somebody out. So I guess it was good to see him be well rounded. But other than that, that fight wasn't really worth paying that much attention to. Howney Barcelos defeated Cody Garbrandt. I thought this was a solid fight. Battle of two vets went to decision, unfortunately, like all the other fights or many of the other fights on the card. Um, it sucks that Connie Barcelos is finally starting to get recognized by people while he's at this age in his late 30s because he was a beast 5, 6 years ago, but he didn't get any favors with the matchmaking, and then he had some struggles. Um, I'd love to see him fight somebody at the edge of the top 15, like a Pedro Munoz or an Ayman Zahabi, or yeah, like anybody in the on the fringes of the top 15. He deserves it. Let him try to get some big wins as he goes out. Um, Mansoor Abdul Mansoor Abdul Malik beat Cody Brundage. This was a weird ass fight. It was really boring until the third round. Then they started swinging. Then Abdul Malik dropped him with a headbutt. Then they called it a technical decision, even though I don't know how you really score 36 seconds of a round as a full round. But I digress. I'm glad that Abdul Malik got the win and that it wasn't a no contest. And I don't think the headbutt was intentional. It shouldn't have been a DQ. Get to something like that in a second. That should have been a DQ in my opinion. Yeah, just keep giving Mansour Abdul Malik additional steps up in competition. Cody Brundage, he'll keep being guys who they feed contender series winners to, or guys who they want to get wins off of. It is what it is. Alonzo Menifield beat Omar C. Terrible, terrible, terrible freaking fight. Omar C was not ready for the step up in competition that Menifield offered. Just give Menifield somebody ranked above him in the top 15 that'll probably beat him. Uh, yeah, this my enthusiasm is really showing for how this main card was. It was not, it just wasn't worth watching. Watch the main and co-main event if you're a hardcore fan and want to see Rose and Usman's performances, but this was not the UFC's best effort. Craig versus Adolfo Bellato. This was stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Paul Craig upkicked Bellato. Then I I really hesitate to say Bellato flopped. I know that it really looks like he did. And I know that like Brazilian fighters have a reputation for these kind of things, but he also really got upkicked in the face. And I think maybe he lost his equilibrium, maybe he hit his head on the mat, maybe I don't know. I I don't know what to think in this situation. I guess I'm fine with it being a no contest, but I think it should have been a DQ. Like Paul Craig has been fighting for long enough to know that you can't just blindly throw head kicks when you're on the ground. They should be legal. You should legally allowed to be up kicking anybody that's above you. That is way less. I'd say that's safer than even. I think that like everything should be legal. I'm like a Pride's rules, one FC or original rules like type guy. Like I just want all the mayhem and all the madness. Give me stomps, give me soccer kicks. But I see why that's not allowed. And I like strongly think that knees on the ground should be allowed as well, objectively. Like but I think even like up kicking somebody is safer than knees to the head of a grounded opponent. Like somebody's standing above you, and even if they're on their knees, you should be allowed to kick them in the face. Like get good, defend it, Like I don't know, but I digress. I don't care to see either of these two guys fight again, honestly. Um, Michael Chiesa versus Court McGee. Speaking of guys who I don't care to see fight again, no, that's not fair, but I don't want to see them fight each other. Two guys who are wrestlers who have pretty interesting ground games, who submit people a lot. Um, or at least I don't know. I don't know if Courtney submits people a lot, but he is capable of grappling, and they have a crappy striking matchup, like always. That's just always what happens. Like, oh, I want to see these guys grapple, and they tepidly kickbox each other and look terrified for 15 minutes. Yeah, like trash. Malcolm Wellmaker, not trash. Malcolm Wellmaker melted Chris Matinho. Watch this fight. Look up this highlight. Holy bejesus. Chris Matinho should not be in the UFC, but that's what you do to guys who shouldn't be in the UFC, and you're clearly UFC caliber. You get them out of there and you make them put them on your highlight reel. And Malcolm Wellmaker, he's got defensive flaws. He's young. He's gonna hopefully he keeps getting better because that type of power at a lower weight class is oh my God. Oh my God. Jose Ochoa, speaking of having nukes in your fists, at lower weight classes, knocks out Cody Durden. I got this one wrong. I thought Cody Durden was gonna win because it's just his grinding style, but Ochoa put it on him the whole fight. And then in the second round, oh, Just knocked him out. Look it up. It was great. My technical analysis sounds great right now. But you're not coming to me for technical analysis. You're not coming to me at all. You just clicked this because somebody rickrolled you into clicking this video, and that's okay. I know you're watching, Mom. Philip Rowe versus Andre Losa. This fight should have been fight of the night. I respect them giving it to Usman and Buckley. It was a fight that mattered more in the rankings, but this was a really, really entertaining fight, and especially with how crappy the rest of the fights were, especially on the main card. Phil Rowe should have gotten some love for a bonus. He didn't get one. Um, Ochoa got one, I believe, and Wellmaker got one, but not Phil Rowe. Phil Rowe should have got 50K because the end of that third round was violent. He just held his head and crazy, crazy stuff. Shouts to Phil Rowe. Opening of the prelims, Jamie Lynn Horth beat Vanessa Demopoulos. Just like I said, she was way too big. Demopoulos was way too small to be fighting at that weight class. Um, she was tough. She fought hard, but yeah, that's why weight classes exist in MMA. A good flyweight beats a good strawweight 9 times out of 10. Um, so yeah, that's the prelims. Yeah, just trying something different here with this recap. That I think I want to do this style more for smaller cards maybe, and not do as much of like the trying to like edit shit together and just piece my thoughts. So yeah, just trying something different. Thank you for watching this if you did. Overall thoughts, this card was really disappointing. I'm really glad that I was gonna go to this card. I was gonna spend like $500 on crappy seats to watch this card because it's 4 hours from me. I'm in Charlotte. And yeah, I would have been really mad if I had spent that much money. So yeah, I don't know why. The fights, they were good on paper, but disappointing in practice. Hopefully, this week's fights in Azerbaijan are better. That being said, I'm Jeff McCrum. I watch MMA sometimes. Peace.